I'm ready to tell my story about dating in Atlanta. I knew I should have listened to my intuition because you already know what it's going. I met this guy. He was very attractive. He was tall. He was a nice brown skin. He had nice sandy brown hair, light brown eyes. And he was very sweet. We saw each other all the time because we went to the same coffee shop to work. And this time I went to the coffee shop. He said hi to me, whatever. And, he had never really said hi to me before. But, I was looking kind of cute that day. And so as the days went on, I came back and he slipped me a note. And he was like, hey, I hope you're having a great day. And he gave me his number. And I thought that was so sweet. And I was like, oh. But this guy, he's like, the way he looked, he was kind of like, he kind of had like an emo look. He had like those gauges in his ears and, which wasn't really something that I liked. He rode a motorcycle. He was cool though, So I got his number and I started texting him. And right off the bat, his energy was weird. Like I'm texting him, hey, how are you? Introducing myself, talking to him or whatever. And at first I was like, why wouldn't he just say hi? But he just slipped a note. Okay. Why wouldn't he speak to me in person? He just slipped a note. I thought it was cute. And so I'm texting him. His energy's a little weird. He's a little standoffish. Okay, so I like to play a game before I really get to know somebody. And so we played this question game, and he was asking me if I was married, if I had kids, kind of normal standard type of questions. But it came off a little too direct to me, like he wasn't like really flirtatious. But I think it's because he had noticed the ring on my finger. The ring is a ring that I bought myself. And so me and this guy, we started dating. We had phone call conversations or whatever. And, the vibe was there. We had a good time. We eventually went on a date. The date was good. He told me what he was looking for in a woman. And he told me that he's ready to get married and settle down. And, he wanted to have more children because he already had 2, right? And I'm like, okay, I have 2 children too, so that works out. He had a daughter around my kid's age, and that's perfect because I do want a daughter, and his daughter being around my kid's age was cool because, that means I ain't got to have another kid. And so, time goes on again, and he slips out the fact that, we was talking about, I forgot, he was joking about something, about choking on, I don't know, something he was choking on. I don't know. And I was like, damn, relax. Like he was choking on some water or something. And he started joking about dying or whatever. And he said, yeah, at least I got enough to give all my kids something. I said, oh. He said, yeah, my daughter, my son, and the twins. I said, twins? What twins are you talking about? And he said, I told you I had twins. Well, I don't really know if they mine yet. I'm gonna show you a picture of them. People saying they don't look like me, so I don't really know. He showed me these freaking twins, and they was like 9 months old. And I'm like, instantly, my face drops, like, cause I know you didn't tell me about no twins. Why would I forget you tell me about some twins? He's gaslighting me at this point, telling me, oh yeah, I told you. Nah, you ain't tell me about no twins, right? And so days goes on. And I told him I'm not really feeling that. I'm not really feeling the fact because I feel like you was lying. And I ain't really trying to get into no bullshit. You got like 3 different baby mamas now at this point because the 2 is pushing it. Now you got twins. The twins are young. So I ain't really trying to mess with him like that or whatever. So I end up cutting him off. We stopped talking. And so about a month later, he comes back around. And he came back correct. First off, before I even cut him off, he was kind of acting weird anyway. Like, he would stop texting me randomly, kind of like disappear, stuff like that. So I was kind of like, you know what? I ain't feeling that anyway. I ain't got time for this or whatever. So after I cut him off, he came back around and he came back around correct. I know that you're the woman for me. I really want to be with you. I really want to work on our communication. Saying all the right things, all the right things. You know, he's coming correct. He's apologetic. He's affirming how he feels about me. He's planning things out. He's telling me how he wants to move going forward. And, you know, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I asked God, I said, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. So I pray about it. I asked God, all right, Lord, I'm asking you to reveal anything about this man that I need to know. Like, what's up with him? And I called in all my angel guys and I said, let me know. I want you to reveal anything that's going on with this man. And when I tell you, shit was revealed. Hold on. This is 5 minutes, but hold on.
Hey, my love. Today, I want us to talk about a really niche subject. Niche in the sense that I hope it's not so many of us who relate to this. So, from the title, I'm sure you can tell. Today, we're talking about how did you find out your man was down low? Okay, down low men are men who are, they may be gay or bisexual, but they're sleeping with women and they're not disclosing to the women that they are sleeping with other men or have slept with other men. I hope you enjoy this video. These women are going to tell us hilarious. I just want to think that these stories are hilarious because it's hilarious, but also it's hurtful for the person who is experiencing it. Although it's hilarious for us to hear about, right? Anyway, enjoy. I'll be back at the end with some commentary.
On me with girls, but also guys too. Yeah. So I have an ex that I have many crazy stories about, and I was with him for 1.5 years, and I have no idea how or why, but I was at my lowest point ever in life because this man was so narcissistic, so manipulative, and also gay, and in the closet, very deep in the closet. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every guy that's in the closet acts like this, but from my experience, this is what happened to me. This man was so angry with himself that he secretly was gay, but no one else knew except me. And he did actually end up opening up to me about 6 or 7 months into the relationship, and he told me that nobody else knew and that he felt safe sharing this with me. So his parents are extremely homophobic, and I think that was a really big reason as to why he was so deep into the closet. But the way I found out essentially was this. He would have sleepovers with his guy friends, and he would turn his phone off so that I could not contact him and I would not hear from him until the next day. And I thought nothing of this at first until I learned that the guy friend that he was having these sleepovers with had gone to jail for making a 12-year-old boy suck his And when I tell you, this man was obsessed with his friends. Obsessed. He would ditch me 99% of the time to go hang out with them because they were all doing, you know what I mean. He would also try to pressure me and force me to have 3 so that he could have a sexual interaction with another male. And I was extremely opposed to this because I am not even comfortable with having a threesome with another female, let alone a guy. Like, it's just not what's comfortable for me. So I kept saying no, but he kept trying to pressure me into doing stuff. And I just insisted, like, I really don't want to have to do that. In the bedroom, he would make me say the craziest stuff that was extremely uncomfortable for me to say, and I can't even say for TikTok. And he would do things that made me feel extremely uncomfortable, and it was really difficult for me to date a man who not only was in the closet, but hated himself for being in the closet, and he took that hate out on me. He was a very angry person, and I think that if he just accepted his sexuality, he would be much happier. So wherever he is out there somewhere, I hope you're not lost, and I hope you found yourself and you accepted yourself, and I hope you're happy because you're weird. He also tried to overcompensate by having sex with a lot of girls to like cover up his true identity, and I think also to try to convince himself. But no, he's in the closet for sure.
Okay, so let's just do a quick story time. Well, it might not be quick, but a story time on how I found out the man that I share kids with was I don't know, but how I found out that we was playing on the same team and he was actually DL. So let's backtrack. Last year I went through a whole little mental drainage, being over it, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pick up and I'm gonna move to Ohio. He was still incarcerated, so once he got out, he came out to Ohio, and he had been coming like every other weekend. So he would work a weekend, then be off a weekend. The off weekends he would come to Ohio. It was real cute, he had been locked up for I think 3 or 4 years. So him and the kids got a chance to actually bond, whatever. This one particular weekend, we had all got iPhones. We had just got new iPhones. So I was helping him set up his new phone. And the old phone, he had connected to my Wi-Fi. And, nosy as hell, we all done did it. I'm like, what you been on? Like, let's see. Child, why I do that? As soon as the phone connected to Wi-Fi, literally messages just start coming through. Ding, 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 ding. So I'm like, damn, your hotline is blinging. Child, I opened the message and I was traumatized. Still am traumatized. I seen the message and it was like, hey, what you doing? And it was like nothing about to. And I'm like, okay, well, I done said little odd stuff, but I was talking about, entertaining Fat Mom. So I'm like, okay, I keep reading. And it was like, why you going to do that? The next message was like, so what are you into? And the man that got the same kids as me, he was like, I'm new to this. I don't really know, but nothing going into me. Huh? Red flag. So I keep reading and I'm like, oh no, this not a girl. And ain't no Fat Mom involved. Another message, ding. I'm looking. I get to scrolling. Why do I see this man bent over? All I see is and I don't know if I could say that, but y'all get the picture. I'm talking about bent over from the back, one of these shots. So at this point, my heart drops. I'm like, ain't no way. I get to scrolling, and nothing. The bitches that I was looking for were not there. It was nothing but trannies. I don't know if I could say that, but yeah, them. Nothing but them. So at this point, I'm like, oh hell no. So I get to calling. I call his mama. I'm like, hey girl, because we was real cool. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to pull over because I got some questions. She pulls over. Now mind you, as I'm looking through the stuff, he's in the other room sleep. Keep that in mind. So I tell her, then she like, what? I'm like, girl, hell no, hang up on her. I call my best friend. So at this point, I'm like, I can't hold nothing. Like, I'm gonna have to say something. My attitude is gonna show it. My face is gonna say it. So I call her and I'm like, bitch, I'm finna send you some shit. We'll talk about it later. So I get to doing one of the snap a picture, send a picture, snap a picture, send a picture. Because at this point, I need my evidence, right?
Okay. So she calling me in the midst, because mind you, I'm sending screenshots of messages and the pictures. So she calling me like, what is you sending me? What is going on? I'm like, Drella, I don't have time right now, boo. Just hold on to it. So then I go, do a little sneak, see if he's still in the bed, sleep. He still sleeps. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go outside. I'm telling her. But it's something, and you never realize it until like you're in the situation. So I didn't know how I felt. I'm like, I need answers. You got to tell me something. Now, granted, we wasn't together. He had a girlfriend, so I thought. So as a woman, I call her because I'm like, DL men are the worst. They're playing both fields. You never know what you can get. So I call her like, we didn't have no beef or nothing. So I'm calling her like, this what I found, blah, 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 blah. This slow hoe. Oh, you're just mad. Girl, he in a whole nother state here. Like, what am I mad about? Hang up on you, not in the fucking mood. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to ask him, what I'm going to do. I'm pacing back and forth. And he the type that, like, if he sleep and you wake him up, you're not going to get nothing. And I knew this was a touchy situation, but I had questions. I had a lot of questions. So I'm like, how the fuck? So I'm walking around the house, bamming on shit, making noise, yelling at the kid, laughing all loud and shit. Anything to wake him up. Y'all. The man did not wake up. It seemed like hours had passed. But I knew if I woke him up, it was going to be an argument. I wasn't going to get the answers I needed. I take a Benadryl. I'm like, I got to go to sleep. I take a Benadryl. Try to go to sleep. So when he wakes up, my ass, all my planning and my whole thought process goes out the window. First thing I say is, now, he in the bed and I'm in the bathroom. I'm sitting on the toilet. First thing I say is, so you trannies? Like, and then I realized what I did, so I did one of them. That nigga must have looked. He said, what you talking about? Y'all, I couldn't say nothing. Then my dumb ass picks up my phone and I get I found this, and now why I did that? Now remember, I had already sent the stuff to my best friend. That's why I did that. Cause this a phone breaking ass nigga. So I already knew when he broke my shit, cause it was bound to happen, that I was still gonna have my evidence, right? Part 2 coming up.
Let me tell you about the time I found out the boy I was talking to was DL. I normally do my story times on my YouTube as Alexis Amani. I already told this story before, but now I'm about to come to TikTok and tell my story times, okay? So, y'all, I've been talking to this boy. We're going to give him a name. What did I call him in my YouTube story time, y'all? Hold on. So, we're going to call him Liar Pants on Fire. I've been kicking it with this boy because he DM'd me with long paragraphs telling me that he wanted to talk to me. I've been ignoring this man for a long time, y'all. I finally responded to one DM when he wrote me a long paragraph, said he wanted to get to know me, doing the most, whatever. Now, this boy was a trick. When I tell you he was a trick, he was like really, really tricking, like paying bills, nails, hair, everything you can name. Looks wasn't, to top that, he was a short bastard. That wasn't even called for. So, yeah, we're going to speed through all of that. Like, he was a trick. He was tricking, all this other stuff like that. We're going to go to the part when I found out he was a DL, y'all. If y'all want a full story of how I met this man and how I about to fight this man's sisters, let me know. Chilling one day. I'm chilling. I think I went home. I just came from chilling with him, right? Y'all, I received a message, I think, via Facebook. Yeah, you know it's real when a motherfucker take you off of Facebook. How you found me on Facebook? Crazy is how people knew who I was is because this man used to post me on his freaking page all the time. And I told him I don't like that. I got me a DM from, not a DM, an inbox on Facebook from this, you could tell the page was fake, y'all. He telling me Light Pants on Fire and his brother be talking to the guys, okay? Telling me like, oh yeah, like he DL, his brother got videos, and Light Pants on Fire basically got a boyfriend like in Savannah, Georgia. Like he basically got a boyfriend here that who he be serving to. As I'm looking at all his messages, y'all, I went to his house that same morning because we had a 1-day trip to Jacksonville, Florida, y'all. Oh, my skin started crawling. I you know me, I can't hold no information back. Information like that, I gotta say something. I'm sorry because I had my phone open. He was asleep next to me. I had my phone open, and you know what? I'm just looking at him on the side, looking at him like, man, you really, man. Tell me something. I couldn't hold it no more, baby. I tapped that shoulder real hard. I said, hey, what's this? What is it right here?
Story time on how I found out that my baby daddy was DL. So, first of all, this is all alleged. So, we have a Roku TV in our living room. Well, my living room. It was my house. I was paying the bills. Anyways, so I bought the TV as well. I bought everything in the house, including his grill. Anyways, so we had a Roku TV. I had a Roku TV in my living room, and we had the Roku TV remotes on our phones. And he was passed out because he's a raging alcoholic, and he would like drink himself to sleep every night and sleep all day. So he was like passed out. Mind you, it's like 11, 12 p.m., right? So I go and get his phone because my phone was dead and I couldn't find the remote. So I turn on the cartoons, whatever, for our 2-year-old, and something inside me, deep inside me, was like, go through that phone, sister. Go through that phone. So I'm like, okay, sister, I'll do it. So I go through the phone. What do you know? So I see a message, and it's disgusting, first of all. I see a man that's probably in his 50s, maybe like 55, and he's wearing a wig, a black wig. He's got makeup on. He looks like Miss Doubtfire. They're meeting up in a parking lot. They're saying very nasty things to each other. They're sharing each other's location so they can meet up with each other. Okay, that's not all. Then I'm going through more messages. I'm seeing men sending very explicit pictures to my baby dad. My baby dad is talking about hosting. Apparently that's a DL term. I haven't been the same since. If you want more elaboration, let me know.
Boy, was it freaking revealed. I said, Holy Spirit, guide me and tell me about this man. What's up with this man? And we had just, like I said, things were going well. We were really communicating. We were really, he was really being very open with what he's doing with his day. Because a big issue was he kept disappearing. Oh, I was asleep all day. Sorry. I was asleep all day. And I was kind of like, okay. Oh, yeah, I just woke up. Sorry. And so this time he was going, I think it was out of town somewhere. Yeah, he went out of town to go pick up a Jeep. He had just bought a Jeep. And so I was, tracking. He sent me his location. And I was tracking his location, whatever, to see, what was going on. And then for some reason he cut the location. And I was like, okay, that's weird, whatever. And so I was calling him. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because he was supposed to come to my house by 12 after he came back to town. And so I was calling him, and and he wasn't answering the phone. And of course, I'm the type of person, I think you in a ditch somewhere. So I'm like up all night, like, oh my God, something happens to him. He just got this really good job, and now he got this car, and he died. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Or whatever. So a couple hours went by again, and then he ended up calling me. Oh, sorry, I was so tired. I fell asleep I pulled over and went to sleep. I'm like, okay, whatever. But he told me that he was coming over still. I was like, okay, whatever. So he gets to my house, and he was like, this is the first time we've seen each other since we started talking again. And he gets to my house, and he was kind of like standoffish, like, hey, how are you? You know, after all the stuff that he was saying about how he wanted to be together and all this stuff, it was weird that he was acting standoffish. Like, okay, like he barely gave me a hug. He was kind of on his phone doing his own thing. We laid down, we got in the bed, and he kind of turned over and just kind of was like to himself. And I was like, okay, nigga, we hadn't seen each other in forever. Okay, so fast forward to me praying about the situation. So I prayed about the situation, and because this time he went on another trip to go see his son for the Super Bowl. And I called him again, and he wasn't answering the phone. I texted him, he wasn't texting. I'm like, okay, he's with his son, whatever. But something told me to look him up, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. He probably got a girlfriend. He's probably married or something like that. So I never had his social medias or whatever, because he was a little bit older than me. At the time I was like 29 and he was 37, I think 38. So he wasn't really on social media like that. And I'm like, okay, TikTok, how do I find somebody's social media without their information? And so I was looking and looking and looking, and they said, oh, you can search up this picture. You can search up his picture on this website called Pim Eyes, Pim Eyes, like EYES. So, you know, I took that information and I looked them up. And when I tell you, okay, so I took that information, I uploaded his picture because he loves sending me pictures of himself. Okay, I took that information and I looked him up. I put him on this website. But first, before I did that, I got on Facebook. I searched his phone number, looked up his phone number, found his family, and I found his family's Facebook. I looked through their stuff, found out who he was and where he came from for real, found his mama, found his daddy, found everybody to see who this man really was, because something was off, something wasn't sitting right. So now, okay, I put in his picture on this website, Pim Eyes, and my fucking God, holy fucking shit, what came up put my body in complete shock. Like, I was shaking, like my body was trembling, I felt cold. It literally sent me to the emergency room. What I found, and I'm wondering if I should put the screenshots up of what I found, but what I found was blacktranniesdating.com, singletranniesdating.com, with his picture on there. His picture came up and it pinged to a website for dating black trans people. And at first I thought maybe somebody was catfishing. Maybe somebody used his pictures, right? So I decided I'm going to go ahead and pay for a subscription to get into this website to see if I can find his profile. So I clicked on a profile in the Pim Eyes website, and it said, oh, you got to pay to even get the actual location of the thing. So I paid the $15 to get the location of the website or whatever. I paid that, and then I paid to get a subscription to this website, singleblackTrannies.com. Tranny Lovers is what it was called. Blacktrannylovers.com. Blacktrannylovers.com is what it was called. I get on there, and he on there. This is how the picture looked. And it said, hey, his name was like Miami 3042 ATL or something like that. Hey, I just moved here from Miami and I'm looking for some new friends. I've been dating trans women, and I mean real trans women, not just some dude with makeup on. I'm gonna post the clip that I saw. But that's what I found. And when I tell you, it was two tranny websites. When I tell you my body went into complete shock, I've never dealt with anything like this before. It was so traumatizing. And the main thing about it is I knew something was off with him. I did not listen to my intuition. I overrode my intuition, and my intuition was warning me. But God still protected me in this situation. God still protected me in my situation. How do I know? Because I immediately went to the hospital and got a full panel. And then I ended up trying to go to the police station. I went to the police station like, bro, yeah, I want to press charges on this nigga. Apparently you can't press charges on a dude who is gay on the low. To me, it feels like a sex crime because I didn't consent to having sex with a gay man. I consented to having sex with a straight man. So I felt like, and don't tell, okay, you don't, I can hear it. I can hear it now. Don't tell me. I understand the whole controversy between trans women and regular women or whatever, but I didn't consent to that. And I felt like I was taken advantage of. So I'm going to post it. I'm going to post what I found.
Yo, I just want to give y'all a story time about how I found out my ex was DL. Like DL down low, on the low, and I had no idea. So some context clues about this relationship. We were together for a year. It was an abusive relationship. That should just tell you everything it needs to. So him and I were sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of my nap. So when I woke up, I looked over just to see if he was up, and I noticed that he was sleeping. Real peaceful, real nice, deep in his sleep. So you know, for y'all women out there, y'all know a woman's intuition. Y'all know it was gonna hit. And at that moment, my intuition hit. Something told me, look through that phone. So I grabbed his phone. I made sure he was sleeping. And I looked through the phone. I was so nervous, y'all, because I'm telling myself I'm going to find something. I know I'm going to find something. I'm going to see that he was cheating on me with a woman. I'm going to see that, you know, he's talking to other women. He probably linked other women. I just know. So I opened the phone and I'm scrolling through the phone just to see like the apps that he has. And I seen that he had the Kick app. Now at this time, Kick was no longer popular. Nobody was using Kick anymore. So Kick is like a messenger app where you can go and you can talk with your friends, you talk with people. It was kind of like a Facebook Messenger type of thing. But this was popular in the old days. Instagram was like new and out there, like, you know, so I found it weird that he had this app. So I clicked the app and the first thing I see is a man's name. I clicked the man's name and y'all just take a guess at what the fuck I see. Now y'all motherfucking guessed it. He sent his D pic, right, to this person. So as I'm reading above the D pic, I see him say, let's link. Like, you know, like what's the word? Let's link. So if you know New York lingo, what's the word means like, oh, like what's up? What are we gonna do? And I'm like, let me see what the rest of this conversation says, because I need to know who this person is. So I scroll up a little bit more, and why I don't see the man's D pic, the man's. So the man sent his first. My ex replied with the, what's the word? Let's link. And then he sent his. Immediately, my heart starts racing. I'm sweating. My breathing is heavy. Like my palms, they're wet. And I'm just like, my mind is racing. I'm like, what do I even do? Like, what do I even do in this moment? Like, what led me here? You know, like, this is everything I'm thinking about. I look at his ass sleeping and I'm like, should I smack him with the phone? Or should I handle it calmly? Because I'm living with my parents. I don't want my dad to get involved. You know, I don't want my parents to get involved. I don't want it to be bigger than what it needs to be. So I'll wake his ass up. I ain't smack him with it, y'all. Promise I ain't smack him. I should have, but I didn't. I wake his ass up. I'm like, excuse me, wake up. What the fuck is this? And I show him what I seen on the app. He jumping up. Oh, what you mean? What you mean? No, it's not. It's not the way it seems. It's not what you think it is. It's not what I think it is. What is this? Like, I'm asking him, like, what is this about? Like, is this what you are? Are you gay? Like, you know, is this, what was you about to do? You was gonna link with this man? Like, what are you doing? And he was like, no, like, you know, I just needed the money. Like, you know, I haven't been having money. Like, I just, you know, I was gonna do it for the money. I just sent him the pictures for the money. I'm like, for the money? I'm like, the motherfucking money. You needed the money? So you was... You was gonna go sleep with this man for the money? You was sending pictures for the money? Like what was you doing? Oh no, it was not the way it seems, not the way it seems, Then he starts telling me, why did I look through his phone? Out of everything I just found, you worried about why I looked through your phone. What I'm worried about is why you sending her and why you receiving her. And you worried about why I looked through your phone. I thought at this moment too that he was gonna get physical with me because I had found something. But no, he didn't. He was smart because he knew that my parents were home. So he thought twice about it. He started to pack his shit and he left because I asked his ass to leave. That's my story time on how I found out my man was DL.
So did you guys see that video with the girl who was telling us how she found out her man was on the DL, on the down low, for those who don't know what DL stands for? And she said her first clue was that he showered before gym, showered after gym. When he would come home, he would curl up in a fetal position, and then the farts will keep coming. Yes, she did that. She did the sound effect. But I went over to the comment section of that video, and interestingly, I found some interesting comments. I was like, this girl said how she knew her man was on the down low. This man was standing up peeing, and a log fell out. A log fell out. Can you imagine? Lord Jesus, take the case and give me the pillow. Another thing that stood out for me was somebody said that what they did was to use them partner's email to go on Grindr, and the girl said an account already exists. Apparently, Grindr are the Batman app. Ladies, be careful out there.
Please, guys, let me know. Is it just me, or is finding out that your man has slept with other men, he's down low? Isn't that just the most scandalous thing ever? Like, I really worry for these women who are coming out to talk about this, because how many cases have we heard about men, offing women because the women found out they were sleeping with men, and that was just they couldn't live with it. I hope none of you ever come across a DL man or fall in love with one, because genuinely they are not good people. All the videos I've seen about this topic is just women, even the women who talked about having dated them, even before they knew the relationship was already off in some kind of way or the other. And I hope God gives us all discernment to see these signs so much earlier, so that we are not left in that situation where it's like, oh, you're finding out after he's already your baby daddy. Like, that's just. Anyway, tell me, isn't that the most scandalous thing ever? I enjoy these videos, but I also empathize with the women, especially the ones who have kids. Anyway, I'll see you for the next one. Enjoy.